faculty
Wait.
members,
Now start.
distinguished resource persons, faculty members of different higher education institutions, research scholars, paper presenters, participants, teachers, students, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Sohel Rana Sarkar, Assistant Professor in Education. Extend a cheerful and warm welcome to all of you in this international conference on multidisciplinary research organized by Dakshin Dinajpur D.Ed College. We are very much fortunate to have you all here. So today we are very much honored to have with us esteemed Professor Dr. G. Kalarasan, respected Professor Dr. Muhammad Ahsan Habib, and respected Professor Dr. Muhammad Juel Rana as the speaker of this conference. Definitely, we will be highly enriched by their valuable discussions. Now, I would like to offer my sincere thanks and respect to all the honorable persons like Secretary and HOD of the college, Mr. Mojammel Haq and Mr. Akbar Rahman Sarkar for their immense support. Also, I would like to welcome all the respected chairperson, Professor Dr. Ananthula Raghu, Professor Dr. Josephine Anthony, Professor Dr. Bhauma Priyadarshini, Professor Dr. Baishali Majumdar, Professor Dr. Subal Kanti Chaudhuri, Professor Dr. Soumya Mohan Ghosh, Dr. Anup De, Dr. Ashish Datta, Professor Dr. Muhammad Ismail for their gracious presence. Furthermore, I would like to welcome the organizing secretary, respected Professor Dr. Soumya Mohan Ghosh, and all the respected members of our organizing committee, Dr. Sujit Kumar Soren, Dr. R. Udaya Mohan Babu, Mr. Tonumoy Panda, Mr. Santosh Subba, Mr. Navin Manger, Dr. T. Sundara Rasan, Ms. Swati Singh Bhushan, Mr. Pranjal Das, and Dr. N. Sundar for their active supports. The 21st century is characterized by diverse problems that demand a comprehensive approach for better understanding of the problems and for finding effect solution, which is the traditional single discipline research approaches can not longer provide. In contrast, multidisciplinary research is grounded in theoretical perspective from different disciplines, which bring together scholars from different disciplines to investigate, examine, and develop theoretical tools, taking more holistic approach to analyze the complex issues. In the field of humanities and social sciences, a shift towards multidisciplinary approach is felt stronger than ever as the world becomes increasingly interconnected and global problems become more prevalent. Multidisciplinary research will play an increasingly important role in finding effective solution. So it's the need of the hour to discuss. Now, I am extremely delighted to say that we have received overwhelming response from academicians and scholars all over India and abroad. We have received more than 100 papers for this conference. I sincerely hope that this conference would provide much food for thought to all the concerned. Now, I would like to introduce our honorable keynote speaker, respected Professor Dr. G. Kalarasan, sir. Respected Professor Dr. G. Kalarasan has no need to introduction in the field of education. He is a senior professor and head from Department of Education, Alagappa University, Tamil Nadu, India. He has comprehensive knowledge in the field of teaching, learning, research, and academic administration. He has published plenty of research paper in the journal of national and international repute. Also, he has published so many book chapter and also convey so many keynote speech and invited speech in different national and international program. So without further ado, let me invite our keynote speaker, respected Professor Dr. G. Kalarasan sir, to share his keynote speech. I am very sure we will be very much enriched by his illuminating speech. It's over to you, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself, sir,
Yes.
at first. Yes, sir, you are audible and visible now.
Respected Professor Dr. Hasan Habib, Professor Muhammad Jiwal Rana, Professor Saumya Mohan Ghosh, my dear scholar Dr. Sohil Rana Sarkar, and other scholars Dr. Mohan Babu, Dr. Sundarajan, and all the professors who have joined with us, and all the delegates. Very good morning. So really, I am very happy to join with you in this international conference on multidisciplinary research through the online program. So at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Sohil Rana Sarkar for giving this opportunity through the institution. And also, I would like to thank the organizing secretary of the institution for having given this opportunity. And regarding this the program, I am very happy to join with you and share some information about the international conference on the multidisciplinary research. Shall I off the camera, Sohail,
Yes, sir.
so that it will
Yes.
be easy for me to speak? Okay. So the multidisciplinary approach it is a recent topic. Previously in education, for example, B.Ed, it was offering only one subject, BSc, B.Ed in chemistry or physics or anything. But now the trend is changed due to the National Policy on Education 2020. So this conference, I hope that will give more idea about research in multidisciplinary subjects in order to help all the delegates and professors in the field of different subjects. As a researcher in the field of education, I have seen benefits of multidisciplinary research by drawing on the strength and insights of experts from different fields. We can develop more innovative and impactful solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems through research. For example, in recent years, we have seen an increase in multidisciplinary research projects aimed at addressing climate change by bringing together experts from fields as diverse as environmental science, engineering, economics, and policy. Researchers have been able to develop more comprehensive and effective strategies for mitigating and adapting to the effects of climate change. But of course, multidisciplinary research is not without its challenges. One of the biggest obstacles we face is the difficulty of communication and coordination across different disciplines. For example, if we conduct any program such as conference or seminar on any research colloquium, it is easy to coordinate in a particular subject for education, for science, or any other subject, physics or chemistry. Whereas when we organize such this type of program from different field, it is not easy to coordinate, conveying and collecting papers, collecting from delegates, and making all the staff members process from various fields also very difficult. So in such a way, this may be something difficult to organize, either organizing program or organizing any research. So as a researchers, um, we we each have our own language, methods, and assumptions, and it can be challenging to find common ground and build trust. So these are also various problem. Language. So in Tamil Nadu, we are speaking mother tongue as Tamil, whereas in Bengali and West Bengal, you are using the Bengali language or Hindi. And similarly, when you go to the every region, we see different languages. So that also may be different issues like the different subjects. So these are the various issues. To address these challenges, we need to be intentional about creating opportunities for interdisciplinary collaboration and communication. This could include organizing workshops, conferences, and other events that bring together experts from different fields, as well as developing tools and frameworks for interdisciplinary communication and collaboration. At the same time, we need to recognize that not all interdisciplinary collaborations will be successful. Some may fail due to differences in methodology, priorities, or culture. But even these failures can provide valuable lessons and insights that can help us to improve our interdisciplinary research processes. In this regard, we need to remember our National Education Policy 2020. One of the key features of the National Education Policy 2020 is its emphasis on multidisciplinary education, which is intended to prepare students to address complex problems in a variety of fields. This focus on multidisciplinary education is directly relevant to multidisciplinary research, as it encourages collaboration and integration across different fields. So, as I stated earlier regarding be it single subject and multidisciplinary, in Tamil Nadu, the government of Tamil Nadu is not giving permission to offer the BSc B.Ed program, the ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program, so which is multidisciplinary subjects. So we think that the Tamil Nadu people think that when we offer the program, be it within 4 years, it is not easy to cover the syllabus of physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. So these are the issues in the multidisciplinary program in B.Ed. Similarly, there are some issues, but due to undertaking some researches, these issues can be resolved in due course. So, under the National Education Policy 2020, students are encouraged to pursue a broad-based and interdisciplinary education that includes a variety of subjects and disciplines. This is in contrast to the more traditional approach, where students are often encouraged to specialize in a particular field from an early age. By encouraging multidisciplinary education, the National Education Policy 2020 aims to prepare students to think critically and creatively, to work collaboratively, and to be adaptable to new and changing environments. These skills are essential for multidisciplinary research, where researchers must be able to work across different fields and communicate effectively with colleagues from diverse backgrounds and think creatively to develop innovative solutions. The National Policy on Education, the National Education Policy 2020 recognizes the importance of multidisciplinary research and calls for the establishment of research centers and institutes that focus on interdisciplinary research. As we look to the future of multidisciplinary research, I am excited about the potential of new technologies to support collaboration and communication across different fields, from virtual collaboration platforms to machine learning algorithms that can analyze and synthesize data from multiple sources. These tools have the potential to revolutionize the way we approach interdisciplinary research. Moreover, by doing this type of programs, organizing multidisciplinary approach research will be helpful for the people who are coming from various subjects will be learning new informations or sharing new informations from other people coming from other disciplines. For example, if a person coming from mathematics, he will be introduced some new uh, statistical techniques. So that will be incorporated by other staff members from other fields. And similarly, if a person coming from some technology background may be giving some technological ideas to teach the subject and also to do the research in the field of in all the fields. So these are the various benefits in organizing this type of program, and also this type of multidisciplinary research conferences will be helping the uh, the delegates or the professors from various faculty or from various institutions will be sharing, will be having some collaboration or to get together. So these are the various issues by organizing this type of program. So really, I am very happy to join with you in this program. So I would like to say that the multidisciplinary research is not just an academic exercise. It is a vital tool for addressing the complex challenges we face as a global community. By working together across disciplines and boundaries, we can develop more innovative, effective, and sustainable solutions to some of the most pressing issues. So, with this, I would like to conclude my speech. So, I would like to thank for the opportunity given by the organizers. Particularly, I would like to thank Dr. Sohil Rana Sarkar, the coordinator of the conference. Also, I would like to thank the organizing secretary of the conference, and also I would like to thank all the professors who have involved in this program, and I would like to thank all the delegates and the host institutions for having given this opportunity. So thank you one and all for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful lecture. Thank you once again, sir, for the time taking out of your busy schedule to deliver this fascinating lecture, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Sogil.
Now, I would like to invite our honorable speaker, respected Professor Dr. Muhammad Ahsan Habib. He has been working as a faculty member in the Institute of Education and Research of Dhaka University, Bangladesh, since 2005. He has received his doctoral degree from prestigious Monash University, Melbourne, Australia. He has a wide range of research interests, including training, inclusiveness, disability, student voice, sense of belonging, etc. Several of his research papers and book chapters have been published by national and international publishers. Dr. Habib has been working as a research lead and consultant in several international and national projects. He has awarded Monash Postgraduate Publication and Research Scholarship in 2011 to 2015. So let me invite our speaker, respected Professor Dr. Muhammad Ahsan Habib, to share his speech. It's over to you, sir.
Thank you. Can I share my slides?
Yes, sure, sir.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Shoilrana and all the participants uh, to welcome me, invite me for this conference. But I really sorry that probably this is not the one of the key presentation, but what I can share that what I'm doing at the moment and how what the previous professor was talking about that how important it is to share the research is around us with interdisciplinary way, so that we can learn from each other. So in that case, I will talk about the trends of educational research that happening at the moment in Bangladesh in last few years, and also what would be the future direction for us after this post-pandemic situation. It's also interesting to.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Sir, could you
Sorry,
please make your screen full screen, sir? Full screen
full
presentation.
screen. Okay,
Sir,
so
are you presenting your PPT, sir?
yes, yes, I'm presenting the PowerPoint.
It is not visible, sir, actually.
It's not visible. Okay.
At that time, when you asked me, at that time we can we can found your screen, but not the PPT, actually.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So I said my computer. Sorry for this inconvenient. Give me some time. So
Yes,
just
sure, sir.
the showing is loading. So probably a few more seconds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible now.
I think probably there will be some, because somehow it's looking it bit distorted, but I think that we have very few time, so I'm not fixing it. Rather, I'm go through with what we have got.
Yes,
Is that
yes,
okay?
sir.
So okay,
Please.
thank you.
Yes, sir. Please.
So
Yes.
how the session will continue, that I will take probably 10-15 minutes, and where I first try to show that what we have got, the local trends of educational research at the moment in Bangladesh, and then we'll see that some of the global trends, particularly in educational practices, and then we'll say what would be the future direction for our research in terms of design, in terms of instrument use, and in terms of area of education where we can do research. So before that, I we have been doing this trend analysis for last few years. The first article we have published on a teacher's a journal which is based on education, is one of the best or one of the oldest journal in Bangladesh. It has been publishing educational article for last 50 years, so you can understand it's quite a history for this journal. And we try to analyze this journal, and we found very interesting trends. For example, like philosophical and psychological aspect of education, or philosophical psychological research in education is getting lesser day by day. We also found that some of the educational topics are emerging, such as psychosocial factors. I think these trends could be the similar to Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, because we are in the same context. We also noticed that quantitative research, which has been very dominated in earlier years, is getting less, and more in-depth qualitative research, mixed methods is emerging. At at the moment, we are working on two papers very soon. One is the what happened that in Bangladesh, one of the prominent organizations the and another publication is also looking at one of the journal which has been published their article on educational sciences in online. That's also for many years. Like you see, one of the studies for 60, around 60, and other one is like 15 years. and we try to look at those articles, study one and study two, how 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 this has been showing the trends of educational research in Bangladesh, so that you can get the ideas, and probably also you can probably find it linked with your research in your field or in your context, that whether is aligned or not and what would be done for future. For this, you can look at that in the board research. We see that quantitative research is hugely dominating in this sector in the education field, like 44%, 47% in the both cases. Whereas qualitative methods is coming in one research in the second position, and the other article, other journal is in the third position. So compared to those, is like half of the quantitative research. So it has implication definitely that when you do quantitative research, we are more looking at the what extent things are happening. But for qualitative research, is giving providers the insight at how we are looking at the students, how we're looking at the teachers or the educational process has been doing. So probably in the this era, we need to find out, if you want to go for the deformation, we probably need to look at more in-depth understanding, and that's giving us a kind of direction that probably more qualitative or mixed method research could be our future research methodology. If you look at the trends, and also you can see that the quantitative research is hugely, even now, hugely increased in numbers, whereas qualitative and quantitative research has been non-existence in earlier years. However, we excluded the review articles though, excluded the essay type articles though, but real quantitative, qualitative research and mixed research just been started. You see, is like 2000, like 10-15 years ago. So that's also give us the research trends in this area. And if you look at the what kind of instrument we are using for our research, so definitely as quantitative research is dominating, questionnaire and scales is the most dominating instrument in this field. However, if you look at that, some of the instrument like interview schedule, observation checklist, focus group, those are the coming the later ages. So those instruments also reflect our research trends. And in terms of the field of areas, level of education, which has been more focused. In Bangladesh, we were earlier struggling with the primary education enrollment, access, and quality enhancement. That's why most of the cases, the primary education is a very dominating research field. And then we entered in our secondary education last few years, but we see still the secondary education uh, actually decreasing. The one of the thing that notable is that higher education, research in higher education is dominating these days in Bangladesh, because more funding is coming on, government is giving more attention to, and probably one of the reason you are also organizing the conference that has been happening earlier years. So as a B.Ed college, or we are also a teacher training institute, we used to just go for the teaching, not for any kind of research or conference or those things. So that's indication that indicates that the research is giving more importance in higher education, and that's very much aligned with the trends that's happening in Bangladesh too. So that's one of the things that we can look at. But if you look at the preschool education, somehow Bangladesh is though is encouraging emerging issue. And few years ago we have published the we have enacted the Early Childhood Education Act, but still I don't know why this field of research is still very limited. So there's the gaps that we can see, and for help us to direct what would be our future research topic or research types. So I think the young researcher or new researcher, you can find that what's happening last like 50 to 15 years around, and then what would be the research direction for futures. And also I was looking at the area and topic of the research, and we see that inclusive education is getting popular in Bangladesh. And if you look at that post COVID, we see the online learning is one of the topic that a number of publication has been done in both journals. So that's giving us also idea that how external factor has a implication for us. I mean, the research said that how we linked the research in our in academia and how what is happening in the field. Also looking at I have talked about this. So what we get from this small talk, that trends and issues that has been find in the research, we see that quantitative research keeps a steady share over the period. So probably we need to focus on qualitative and mixed method research. We see that ICT integration is just been started in our research procedure. We see that probably I missed one thing. It's in this particular slide. If you look at the green Google form, is one of the new research method has been using the recent articles. So that's also giving us ideas that how ICT integrated research methodology tools instruments are being integrated in our research methodology. So that's one of the component we can see. And we also see the use of scale efforts reduced in educational research. So in earlier research, we have seen there lots of um, psychological scale and test has been used, but recently we are more looking at individualized education. So probably look at that how what's going on individual children rather just to measure it and go for generalization. So those are the things that from Bangladesh perspective. But now I'll go for that what happening post COVID. But there are many things happening, but I'll just highlight few things, and that may help us to go for the future research. Like one of the things is individual instruction. This has been discussed for many years, even before COVID, definitely. But these days is more ICT integrated. We want more children to get their potential out, and that's why we try to design our instructional based on their need. And so research shows that if it is individualized instruction, they got more learning achievement than conventional teaching learning process. And how we can do that, we also already see that even though children, they're using mobile phones and then apps, they're playing games individually, and mobile phones and those game apps are recording their scores. So while mobile phone and games has been using to attract the children and individualize their performance, as education is by education stakeholder, we are really lacking behind of those technologies. So if we can introduce those things, individualized planning, learning through their technology, we probably can help them to go for their learning their own pace rather, in the class as a general education, this general conventional progress. So this is one of the areas that we can go for research. And this been globally now one of the issue that people are researching on it. And gamification on learning and instruction is one of the emerging issue at the moment. Many research shows that increase in time spent on site by students after introduction of gamified system, around 400% they have increased their learning time. So when we are giving lecture or we are go for the conventional writing and answer script solution, rather we go for the gamification of the teaching content, students spend more time on that, and that is huge. So we say that maybe you have your children and you see that when he's in starting, he can concentrate for half an hour, and then but when he is playing games, he is doing it for 3 hours. So that's technology. How come they can concentrate on those? So we can use those gamification method in our education, and that could be that could have amazing achievement in learning or in instruction. At the moment, in our new curriculum, we also, I was one of the lead researchers on that. We are some of the issues like gender violence or health management, health issues. Those issues usually teachers don't want to teach in their classroom. So what we are doing at the moment with the help of UNICEF, put those topics and chapters in gamification mode, in small iPad or in the tablet, so that the student can learn it in their own pace, and they will assumption that they will learn more. So those things, those kind of research is emerging at the moment. So we can think about that. And if you look at that even some of the countries, some of the reason in the global context that they are really using uh, more gamification. And if you look at our situation, we see that we are really lagging behind on that. So like Asia Pacific. But if you see that students, they're using those games, mobile phones, they're using, they spend a lot of time on those. Just we didn't manage to do those technology in our education. So that's one of the place, one of the context field left behind that we can go for research, that how can we do that. Another for the teacher professional development, that's one of these things that we are now already, Dr. Solana mentioned that more than 100 papers are now here. So we can imagine that how we can, in a small time, we can give a lot of ideas and sharing through online. So that's one of the thing that we are saying, rather go for long lectures, go for many books and in depth. Alongside of those things, we can also introduce bit-sized learning, micro learning, for small talk learning, where like you probably many of you have seen the TED Talk, which is a very small in time in terms of lecture, but they give us some more thoughts and ideas so that we can get encouraged to go for something more. And it's also research shows that like 10-15 minutes our attention, so we get 100% attention if the lecture is in 10-15 minutes, or a small topic, very precisely targeted, who will get it, what will be the learning change. And research shows that it giving a much better learning than the conventional style of teaching learning. So those are the things that's emerging at the moment. We see in podcast, we see that at even like in Bangladesh, you have a 10-minute schools where each of the topic is designed in a small video, and we can use it, we learn it very quickly. So those research just giving us an idea that how can we go for future research topics. So probably my um, topic lecture today is more on about to stimulate you guys and also myself, that we may think about that what is the global trends and how can those trends and would be the our next research topics, so that we can use uh, those findings in our real classroom, and that may help our education system, education policy to go move forward. So that's the all total together I want to talk about the research contents at the moment, we have trends we have, and then how the global trends is going on, and how can we decide our topics, our research design and instrument for our future research. uh, I think I like to finish here. Thank you all. Over to Dr. Solrana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the wonderful lecture. It was very informative and insightful session, sir. Thank you once again
Thank
for
you.
taking time out for your busy schedule to deliver these fascinating lectures. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Now, I would like to invite our honorable speaker, respected Professor Dr. Mohammad Juel Rana. He is working as an assistant professor at the GB Pant Social Science Institute, Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh, India. Earlier, he worked as a postdoctoral researcher at the University, Seoul, not Seoul, North Korea, sorry, for the project entitled India Policy Insight. He was also a fellow at the Geographic Insights Lab, Harvard Center of Population and Development Studies, Harvard University, USA. He has another postdoctoral research experience from the IIPS, Mumbai, India. He completed his MPhil and PhD in Population Studies from Center for the Study of Regional Development, School of Social Science, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, India. He published nearly 30 research papers in peer-reviewed journal with international repute, 4 book chapter, 1 book review, and a couple of short communications and media articles in the domain of population health and development. So let me invite our speaker, respected Professor Dr. Mohammad Juel Rana, to share his speech. It's over to you, sir.
Uh, Thank you, Sohel. Am I audible?
Yes, I think you are audible, but you should speak loudly or uh, rethink
Okay.
about your mic. Okay.
Okay. So now, is it fine? Is it better?
No, no, not so, not okay, sir. Not okay, sir.
Um, yeah, I don't know how to do it. Now, is it okay? No, better? Just a minute.
Yes, yes, please.
Is it fine now?
It's quite okay, but not up to mark, sir.
Okay. Okay. I have to loud enough to
Or
communicate.
you pick your mic nearer to your mouth, or
Is it
yes,
okay?
yeah, yes,
Yeah,
it's
it's
quite okay,
better.
sir. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Let me do like this.
yes,
Okay. I had actually another speaker. I forgot that speaker, the loud mic in my room. So anyway, thank you, Sohel, Dr. Sohel, for this kind introduction and elaborated introduction. Uh, Sohel, Sohel was one of my friends in Bhagalpur when we were pursuing our master's degree. So he's a nice guy. Thank you, Sohel. And I do not deserve that much respect you have given. So it's okay. Uh, Now, today I'll be talking about uh, academic writing in social science. Uh, and as I was asked to talk about how to write a research paper that would be published in reputed journal, peer-reviewed reputed journal. So I'll begin that. Now I have to share my screen. Um, just a minute. Yes. So is this my slide visible? Is it visible?
still not, sir.
Just
Still not. Yes, it's visible. Please
okay.
do the full screen mode.
Oh, full screen mode. Okay. So, Dr. Sohel, um, if there is any question in between, I know that audience are from multiple disciplines of social sciences. Uh,
Please do your
my
PPT in full screen mode, sir.
So it is in full screen. It is in full screen. Perhaps
Presentation mode. Presentation mode.
yes, it is in presentation mode.
Okay.
So I guess slow because of slow internet, there is time lag. So it will come soon to your screen.
Sir, please speak more loudly. I am requesting to you because the session will be going more informative and more knowledgeable. So
Okay,
that's why
Sohail.
I'm requesting to you.
I'll try my best
We are
to.
ready to learn.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
please, sir. Yes.
So now is it in full screen mode?
No, sir. There will be a like a presentation mode bottom of your screen. It is just visible right now, and beside the slide, also showing all the slide. Okay, we are not showing having the look of only one particular slide. We are having all the slide
So
beside the
that
main slide. Okay.
the next slide will come soon. So
Okay.
let me start, Dr. Sohail.
Okay.
If there is
Yes, no
any
problem.
issue in presentation, please let me know. And also, if there is any question from the audience, please let me know. I'd be happy to clarify those
So
questions.
please do your presentation first. After completing all of your presentation, we'll go for the question, sir.
Okay,
We'll not
okay.
going to interrupt you for any technical issue or anything emerges. I will
Uh,
notify you, sir.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Sir. So
Yes,
today
sir.
I'll be talking about academic writing in social science. Already my introduction is given that I'm working as an assistant professor at GB Pant Social Science Institute, Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh. So GB Pant Social Science Institute is a research institute established in 1980 as ICSSR Research Institute. Now it is under University Grant Commission and affiliated with University of Allahabad, Central University of Allahabad. Sure. Let us understand that what are the types of writing. We generally know that there are three types of writing: creative writing, personal writing, and academic writing. Right? Creative writing are basically stories, poems, etc. Personal writing we generally use as email writing, WhatsApp writing, communication. Academic writing is more often formal writing for academician that is used in research, universities, colleges, etc. Right. So I'll be focusing on research aspect of academic writing mostly. But before that, I'll just give a brief introduction to all types of writing. So academic writing is formal writing. It follows some standard conventions, right? And each academic discipline has its own special vocabulary. The vocabulary varies, by subject. For example, vocabulary used in geography may not be used in sociology, political science. So each subject has its own vocabulary, and we need to understand those vocabulary. That which words, which terminology is going to be used in which context. So that is important. Academic writing must be based on solid evidence, right? Logical analysis and concise and accurate argument. So without evidence, we do not write anything. And with the evidence, we also apply logical analysis of the evidence. You may be knowing the pattern or law and theory, right? So pattern, we social scientists generally try to find a pattern in the society, any kind of pattern. It may be relationship between literacy and income. It may be relationship between level of education. It may be relationship between level of education and employment opportunity, etc. So we try to find out the pattern, and through logical analysis, we provide a theory. Uh, uh, so theory is basically explanation of those patterns in social science. It also be applied in pure sciences like physics, chemistry, etc. But I am talking about social science. So it should be concrete and concise and accurate argument. In academic writing, the aim is precision. Unnecessary words or rattles should be avoided. Uncertainty should be avoided, and it can be uncertainty in the uncertain sentences can be used in case of we do not know anything. We assume something, right? Like we can use may, might, could, potentially, right? Unless you are a confident writer, right? it is best to avoid our long sentences, and the aim should be mixture of long and short sentences for variation and rhythm. Repetition should be avoided strictly. There should not be repetition in certain words, certain sentences in your writing. And we should always prefer simple word over scare word or complicated word. Simple word, because we use simple word because that would be read by also higher educated but common people. Sometimes they are not read by researcher but also other people. So we should always prefer simple word. How to prepare a paragraph? I know some of you already know that how to prepare a paragraph, and it may not be useful, but I'm sure that this may be useful for some other participants. Paragraph is basically a group of related statements that a writer develops about the subject. Right? And the first sentence states a specific point or idea of the topic. The rest sentences in the paragraph support that point. So beginning should be started with a idea, and the supporting sentences should be the rest sentences should support the beginning idea, and then there will be on concluding sentence at the end of the paragraph. Use technical language and specific words to your discipline where appropriate, and avoid convoluted phrases and terms. As I said, that confused terms should be avoided. Abbreviation and contraction should be avoided. For example, we write sometimes DEPT, depth, in the place of department. So academic writing, which in academic writing, we always prefer the full word, not like short word or contraction. Another example is not or isn't, don't or do not, right? So we prefer expanded version of word.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, actually, your slide is not coming with your lecture, sir. We are still in the first slide. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
please. Yes, 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 sir. Yes,
Now is it
yes,
okay? Okay,
yes, yes.
okay. Thank you, Dr. Sir. So we should avoid abbreviation and contractions. Then we avoid slang words, phrases, and phrases. Like often we use that the individual or sentence for nicking a bike. Nicking, the word nicking is basically a sort of slang phrases, slang words. So we instead we should use the individual or sentence for stealing a bike. Stealing is a sort of formal word, and nicking is an informal word. So we should avoid this kind of slang words. Then conversational words also need to be avoided. We often use this totally changed people's lives. This is conversational. So totally is basically conversational word. That is also filler, right? So in conversational English we use, but in when we write down, we should avoid those filler, right? Then avoid we should avoid vague term that, for example, the right thing would be better expressed as the right action, the right procedure, right? I mean, nice addition to the collection is, for example, on example, would be better expressed as a popular addition to the collection. So this is sort of refined version of sentence. So in academic writing, we should use the refined version of sentence. Then avoid plagiarism. This is very crucial for researchers like us. Uh, the difference between similarity and plagiarism. Plagiarism is basically copying others' idea into own research paper or research thesis or any academic writing. So there is a difference between similarity index and plagiarism. So what is similarity index? If you test your writing in software like Turnitin, IR Syndicate, then you will find that this percentage of your writing is copied from somewhere else. So that is similarity index. For example, you have an article, 10 pages article, and out of 10 pages, one page or two pages is copied from somewhere else. So that these softwares like Turnitin, Authenticate, Originality Check. There are other softwares also. You can check it, and you'll find that this percentage, 10 percentage, 20 percentage are similar with other sources. So this is basically similarity index. 20% or 30% is basically similarity index. But plagiarism, a similarity index may be plagiarism or may not be plagiarism, because you have to decide that whether it is plagiarized or not. For example, let's say that Allahabad city is located near in the Sangam of Ganga and Yamuna, right? So this is a sentence, for example, and when you check your plagiarism through Turnitin and Authenticate, you will find that this sentence is showing similarity with other sentences. But this is true. This is not a plagiarism, because this is already established fact. This is not an idea that is copying from other person's idea. So plagiarism is related to copying the idea of other person. So this is not plagiarism, although this is showing a similarity between two contents, two documents. So you can manually avoid this similarity, and you can consider that this is not an example of plagiarism. Right? Um, and in case you are seeing that, observing that your content is copied from somewhere else, then what you can do? Using three methods, you can avoid plagiarism. You can summarize or synthesize, you can paraphrase, and you can quote like double inverted comma. You can quote the sentence to avoid plagiarism. What is paraphrasing? So let me explain that what is quotation. Quotation, already you know that you have to put your copied sentences in the double inverted comma. Summarize or synthesize is basically, for example, you have read 10 sentences, you summarize those sentences into 5 or 8 or 7 sentences, right? You are just writing down the gist of the paragraph. So that is basically summarization or the synthesization. And what is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is basically taking information from a source and putting it into your own words. So the number of sentences will be same, unlike uh, synthesize, summarize and synthesize. But you will change the structure of the sentence. It may include adjective, verb, adverb, etc. So on Bollywood meme is there that how to avoid plagiarism while writing your research paper. When I was in PhD, I saw this meme that the original content is Ye Dil Divana, and in the same song that is written in different form, that is Divana Hai Ye Dil. Basically, meaning is same between these two sentences, but wording are different. So you can avoid plagiarism by using this change by using changing the structure of sentence. Paraphrase material is generally more condensed than quoted material, because you are taking the idea of the passage, not the exact words. So your idea will be same, but words will not be same. And after changing the structure of sentence, you have to cite the article properly. Just like quoting material, you must cite your reference as I told. You have to cite your uh, your original text in your writing. How can you make writing impersonal? So personal writing and impersonal writing, that is very important. Personal writing is what? Personal writing is writing in first person. For example, I have done this. So this is the example of first person writing, and uh, if you can convert this writing into impersonal writing. How is it done? So this is done. So I have done this, and this is done. So this is basically example of impersonal writing. I have other example also, right? Like here you can say, I suggest that, right? This is the personal writing. How it can be converted into impersonal writing. The consideration has been given to. So this is conversion of of transformation of personal writing to impersonal writing. Other example like I have observed, like it has been observed. Right? So this way you can transform your writing. Then let us come to the types of academic writing. Uh, Academic writing can be classified into several types. There are other type of academic writing, but I am talking about more prominent academic writing, like theoretical research article, empirical research article, review article. Then we have systematic review, meta-analysis, then report, essay, book review, editorials, etc. Types of academic writing, when we talk about theoretical research article, it is about uh, theoretical research article includes concept, conceptual framework, model, theoretical foundation, and perspectives. While empirical research articles are different. Empirical articles are those in which authors report the findings from their own study, right? So theoretical research article, you do not have own findings, like evidence-based findings. You conceptualize a framework and you although you model and theoretical foundation and your perspective. But in research, empirical research article, you use your findings, your own findings that is collected either from secondary data or primary data, doesn't matter. And the authors use either primary and secondary. And the empirical research contains observed and measured examples that answer the research question. So in the beginning, you have a research question and you try to uh, answer those research questions using your evidence. So this is empirical research article. Then a review article. A review article is basically summarized and analyzed. Review article use summarize and analyze published work on the topic to evaluate the extent of research on your interested topic. So for example, you take a topic and you basically summarize the existing body of literature, the existing literature or existing studies that is already published, right? You take those articles and you just summarize and analyze. So that is a review article. This gives basically overview of previous research on the uh, topic, right? That critically evaluates, classifies, and compares what has already been published on a particular topic. It also suggests future research and gaps in knowledge. Right. The review article highlights when you summarize or analyze the articles published previously. You also summarize. You also suggest future research agenda or gaps in the knowledge. You also highlight that where studies can be conducted. What are the highlights of research gaps? So this is all about research review article. Systematic review article. Systematic review is basically a detailed and comprehensive plan and search strategy derived a priori with a goal of reading bias by identifying, appraising, and synthesizing all relevant studies on a particular topic. So in systematic review, you basically provide that how you have found your research article. The systematic plan you show. There are two types of review: narrative review and systematic review. Narrative review is basically thematic review, right? Thematic review in the sense, for example, you have collected 100 articles and you classify those 100 articles into 10 themes or 5 themes, right? Or you can also classify those articles by years or by decades or by group of 5 years. So this is narrative review or thematic review. On the other hand, systematic review is different, that you provide detailed searching procedure, that how did you find those articles, and you then synthesize. So this is the difference between systematic review and narrative review. And then meta-analysis. Meta-analysis is basically extended form of systematic review. So it examines the data from a number of different independent studies of same subject in order to determine overall trends of the findings. For example, you are trying to do meta-analysis on a particular study. For example, family planning and nutrition. Family planning and nutrition, whether family planning affects nutritional outcomes or not. So, for example, you found 100 articles, then you check whether there are positive relationships among those 100 articles or negative relationships. So out of 100 articles, how many articles are having positive relationships? How many articles are having negative relationships? And how many articles have no relationship between these two variables? So in this way, you just classify those articles into group. And not only that, you also provide the degree of the correlation. That degree of correlation, whether correlation is very strong, whether correlation is medium, whether correlation is very weak. So that is degree of correlation. If 20 articles, for example, 20 articles are negatively related, then what is the degree of correlation that you also provide through meta-analysis. Then we have editorials. Oftentimes, editorials or op-eds come on certain topic, on certain research article. That is basically opinion or summary of an article or a subject that may cover multiple articles on the same subject. Book review basically it can be descriptive. Book review is basically descriptive and critical or evaluative account of a book. And there is also term like book report. There is difference between book review and book report. In book review, you critically analyze the content written in a book, but in book report, you summarize the content written in a book. So summary does not include the critical amount, the critical section. You do not critically evaluate the content in the book report, right? So book report is basically provide us a glimpse of a book, and book review provides us the analysis of a book. So this is the difference between book report and book review. So we write both type of academic learning. Uh, Let us come to essay. What is essay? So essay is basically tend to present an argument, right? And it focus on evaluating or analyzing theories, past research by other people or ideas. You take an idea or you take a research topic and you analyze based on existing theories and existing review of existing literature. It is not an original research, and it does not generally include recommendations. Since it is not an original research, we cannot write a recommendation in the essay. And mostly used by academician. Essay are mostly used by academician. For example, if you read Economic and Political Weekly, that is led by Samik Trust, Mumbai. Economic Political Weekly is a journal well read across the globe. And Amartya Sen has written a book, an essay on missing women, and it basically summarized the whole idea of missing women, the infanticide, poeticide, uh, uh, marriage, child marriage, etc. So this is basic. Essay is related to basically an argument and of a topic. Argument of a topic, So that's it. Then we have project report versus research report. So report basically present information and it presents data and findings that you have collected yourself in an experiment, survey, case study, or particular experience. So reports are divided into separate sections. Their structure means they can be scanned quickly. The report gives us a quick summary of the findings from the data. It often includes recommendations for action and it is often produced in the workplace. So I'll give an example. You may be knowing National Family Health Survey. National Family Health Survey is the district representative uh, national survey that covers the topics related to demography, that is related to fertility, mortality, migration, and public health. That includes communicable disease, non-communicable disease, healthcare facilities, access to healthcare, etc. So this is if you look at the report, report contains almost 600 pages, and it has and although if each and every uh, each and every indicator is measured and reported, then size of the report will go around 5,000, 6,000 pages. But it gives us the summary of the findings from the survey. So this is one example. There are other examples like NSS report, National Sample Survey Organization report. NSS is basically annual survey, a region representative annual survey. NSS has 88 region, etc. So this is a research report. Then there are dissimilarity between essay and report. So similarities are like both use formal academic style and both have uh, it contains critical analysis, and report and essay are well structured and you know, presented well. Basic framework for a research report. So this is important because we often use similar structure in the academic writing, even in the research article. So in preliminary section, we have title, acknowledgement, list of contents, list of figures and tables. In introduction, abstract and statement of the problem. And in the main body, we write literature review, design of investigation, measurement techniques, and results. In conclusion, we write discussion and conclusion and summary of conclusion. Extras are bibliography, appendices, and supplementary. So, title you know, acknowledgements you know, uh, list of contents you know that what are the content available in the, in the research uh, report, and then list of figures and tables you already know. The abstract is basically summary of your research report. The statement of the problem is basically the problem you are focusing. It may be theoretical problem, it may be practical problem. That means a problem related to society, problem related to economy, problem, it may be political problem, it may be health problem. You are writing the problem, that what kind of problem certain population is going through, and you are highlighting those problems. Review of literature is basically part of important part that tells you that which kind of studies is done and what is the research gap. So this is very important. I'll come to that in the next slide. Design of the investigation. Design is related to research design. There are many confusing words like research design, sampling design, right? Data collection methods, data collection tools. It has like very vast area. It has ocean to understand. I'm sure that you must be knowing all these things, a majority of these things. And then measurement techniques are like how we are going to measure a construct, right, or a variable. So that these are measurement techniques. That means, there are scales like ratio scale, interval scale, nominal scale, ordinal scale, etc. So what kind of scale you are going to use for measuring a variable, etc. Then result, you write result, that what is the findings coming out from your investigation. Discussion conclusion, you discuss that whether my result is similar with the existing findings or not. Summary of conclusions, what are the summary, yes, summary of conclusion, you already know. So I'll come to this slide. This based on this slide, I'll talk in detail on certain issues of developing a research article. So first, review of literature. In earlier days, people used to visit different libraries for their research, for reading the research, or to review the research. But nowadays, we have, due to technological innovation, we have big libraries in our hand. We have many platforms like Google Scholars, Scopus, Web of Sciences. Uh, for example, Google Scholar, I often use Google Scholar and PubMed, that is related to public health library. And often I use the Google Scholar. I'll take the example of Google Scholar, how to find a research article, suitable research article in your area. Right. Okay. I'm just going to close this slide and I'll open my Google Scholar. Dr. Sohel.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Uh, is my screen on Google Scholar visible?
Screen is not visible to us, sir.
Oh, so don't say what was sad to me. Okay. Uh, Screen. Now is it visible?
Still not, sir. Sorry. Yes, 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 yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Google Scholar.
Okay. Yes, Google Scholar. So, as for example, I have an account with Google Scholar. So, if you here are two things. Since I have already account, my account will show two things. One is my profile and my library. So my profile will show that my research article, my title of my research article uh, cited by some other person, and year of publication. Here is the number of citation per year, etc. And if we go back, I have my library. When I search an article in the Google Scholar, I can save the article in my library so that I can read the article later on in this way. So now I'm just telling you that you can also open your own Google Scholar account and you can develop a profile and you can develop your own library. Right now, you see Google Scholar how to find a research article. So, Sohail, would you help me to tell me your research interest or research topic, a research topic, any research topic? I'll search here. Uh, for example, Sohail, So this is, for example, this is an research topic, intimate partner violence and child nutrition in India, right? And you are going to search this research topic um, in Google Scholar. What you will find? You will find that 30, you will find 37,000 result. So you got 37,000 result. It is not possible to read 37,000 result. What you have to do, you have to go to advanced search. Go to advanced search. Just click on this Google Scholar three bar icon, and you will get here somewhere advanced search. You go to advanced search, and then you write that you are looking for exact phrases of intimate partner violence, right? And uh, you do not want domestic violence. So with at least one of the words, without the words, with at least one. So any one of these words will be uh, will be used in your will be used in your search. So you are writing, for example, child nutrition, and then you do not want the word related to domestic violence. Violence. This is advanced search. You can also find these articles in the title of the article or anywhere in the article. So let us see that anywhere in the article, and let us see how it is coming. So it is saying that related to this search, no article is available. So let us do a flexibility in advanced search, and let us remove this word, right? And let us search again. Again, we do not have any. Uh, then let us remove the domestic violence also. So now you have 14,000 research articles, right? If you want to customize your time range of publication, let's say you want to search article from 2010 to 2023, right? And then search, then you will get 13,000 research articles, right? And and from this 30,000 research article, you can read the title of those research, and then you can uh, exclude the irrelevant research article uh, from your study. So this is about searching a research article. And one more thing, that if you want to save your research article, this for example, this is a research article, and you want to search. If you click on the save, this article will be saved in your library, right? And if you want to cite research article, you have to click over cite, and you will get a different form of citation. I'll come to that later, right? So now this is a review of literature. How can you find your literature in certain area from Google Scholar? Similarly, Scopus and Web of Science has the platform to search research article. You can use those platforms. Then formulating research questions, initial queries to research questions. Now the second step is formulating research questions. Once your review of literature is done, you develop some initial queries, right? What are the initial queries? Whether if your initial query is whether level of education is higher among the scheduled caste community uh, than OBC community. So, for example, this is a research question. Initial query. Then you have to search the data. whether my initial query is answered or not. If your existing data and review of literature is not answering your question, then you can convert this initial query to research question. So research question and literature review go side by side, right? If you get an answer from your existing literature, then you have to drop the research question and you have to frame the newer one, right? So research question may be related to methodological, may be related to theoretical, right? For example, the research question is answered by other researchers, but their contexts are different. You want to see, you want to evaluate the research question or answer the research question in different contexts. So research question can be kept, right? Similarly, if your research question is answered through different methodology, and you want to answer your research question through your certain own methodology, then you can also keep your research question for your research. So research question works with the literature review, whether it is theoretical perspective, it has theoretical perspective, or it has methodological perspective. Then hypothesis. Hypothesis is basically formal statement. Right? Formal statement that shows the relationship between two variables. So hypothesis is not generally concept in theoretical research or qualitative research. It is the part of quantitative research. So hypothesis is basically formal statement, and it is showing relationship between two variables that will come from existing literature. There are types of hypotheses like null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, right, etc. You must be knowing. Then data and methods, data collection, data may be primary, secondary. Methods are basically the approach you are going to take, the research design you are going to take, sampling design you are going to take, and the tools for data collection and tools for analyzing the data, etc. And you can use. Then result writing, discussion, conclusion, reference. So I have already told. Then references using Google Scholar and Zotero, acknowledgement. Now I'll come to one of the example that I thought to talk about today. Uh, the example is this. Uh, so see this research article. This is the research article I published 3-4 years back. Sorry, is it visible? So see this research article published in Public Health journal. Uh, that is, this is Elsevier journal. The title is Planning of Births and Maternal Child Health Nutritional Outcomes, Recent Evidence from India. So here you see on construct, planning of birth. So this is basically construct, multidimensional construct although. So construct is basically unmeasured variable. Construct can be measured, therefore we measure variable. We convert the construct into variable. Then we have maternal, child health, and nutritional outcomes. Child health and nutritional outcomes. So here you see a number of constructs are there: maternal, child health, maternal health, child health, and nutrition. So multiple constructs are there. Recent evidence from India. So what I have done. So my objective was to estimate estimate the relationship between planning of births and maternal child health and nutritional outcomes. So maternal and child health outcomes are measured by body mass index. So body mass index can be calculated by measuring height and weight based on certain proportion of height and weight. the body mass index can be divided into normal, underweight, and overweight, like also obese. But I have categorized obese into overweight category, right? So obese. So this is on construct. This is outcome. This is related to maternal health, or rather maternal nutrition, and this is a variable. So variable has three categories, right? Normal, underweight, and overweight. And then anemia for mothers. Another construct is anemia for mothers. And then stunting is another construct variable. And then underweight, anemia, and underfed mortality for the children. Logistic regression and cost proportional hazard models were applied. So this is brief method. If we come to the detailed method, then you can see sampling design and sample size. So we had used National Family Health Survey data, and National Family Health Survey 4 covered 699,000 699,000 women, right? Then for particular indicator, we have different size of sample. Here in this table, you can see that for underweight, the total number of underweight is 78,000. Total number of normal women is 2 lakh, 2.5 lakh, and total number of women, obese women is 1.02 lakh. So this is total sample size for body mass index is 4.37 lakh. Total sample size for women anemia is 4.61 lakh, and the sample related to child undernutrition is 2.23 lakh, etc. And similarly, sample size is varied across the variables. Then we have outcome variable. Outcome variable I talked already, uh, and we have predictor. In predictor, you see, so predictor is basically intersectional axis of the planning of births has been created using the continuum process of timing, spacing, limiting of births. So this is multi-dimensional construct, and includes uh, it includes timing, spacing, and limiting. So it is multi-dimensional construct. It includes three constructs. One is timing of birth, another is spacing of birth, and another is limiting of birth. And uh, based on these three construct, the planning of birth is divided into several categories. First category is fast birth and less than 2 years of birth interval, the interval between marriage and first birth. And the second is about first order birth, and 2 to 3 years of interval between marriage and first birth. Third is birth order one, and the more interval between first marriage and first birth is more than 3 years. And if we come to birth order two, then it has again two categories: less than 3 years of uh, birth interval and more than 3 years of birth interval. For birth order 3, less than 3 years of birth interval and more than 3 years of birth interval. For birth order 3 plus, less than 3 years of birth interval and more than 3 years of birth interval. So in this way, this planning of birth into categorized into eight eight categories, right? So now I have planning of birth variable with eight category and other dependent variable. So this is the result from multivariate regression analysis. Let me show you first a table of appendix. Where is the table? So let's see table 2. Results from multivariate regression analysis, adjusted percentage of underweight, normal, obese, and anemic women by selected factors in India. So data is used from National Family Health Survey 2015 and 16. Uh, the result is presented with 95% confidence interval. So here you see this is the result from multivariate logistic regression analysis, and it is converted into proportion and then converted into adjusted percentage. Uh, in the first, this is the reference category, birth order 1 and less than 2 years of interval between marriage and first birth. It is shows that underweight percentage of underweight. This is adjusted percentage of underweight is 19.8%. And if this is compared with the water more than three, birth order more than three, and more than 3 years of interval between birth and subsequent birth, then we see the percentage is higher. So percentage of underweight is higher among those who have birth order, higher birth order and more birth interval, right? So in this way, we can also compare the obese category, and then we can compare the normal category. In case of anemia, also we can see the same thing, right? Then uh, along with the planning of births, we have other independent variables. For example, age at marriage in years, current age in years, place of residence, religion, caste, then women education, partners education, occupation, regimes, etc. These are independent variables used in the uh, regression model. Then once you have all these tables, you write the result. You see the result section. First, you write characteristics of the participant. So, in the characteristics of the participant, you describe your sample, whether your sample are educated or not, whether your sample are coming from particular state, whether your sample is rich, whether rich or poor, etc. You write characteristics of the participant. So in this paper particularly, we had written the key characteristics because there was some odd limit from the journal guidelines, so we could not cross those odd limit. Therefore, the characteristics of participant is very short. For example, I have written that table 1 for women and children. Uh, you know, the estimation of nutritional status and anemia levels in women suggests that approximately 18% are underweight, while 52% are anemic. Right. So in this way, you need to just write the characteristics of the participant. Then you write women's health outcome, that how the our predictor variable is related to a dependent variable. Let me take one example. You see here, the results show that the likelihood of anemia is significantly higher among the women with two births and less than 3 years of interval between birth and subsequent birth. Right. So this is quite complicated word although. So I am just writing the result. So this is the writing. This is about writing the result. So result basically does not include the finding from the previous studies. But when you will come to discussion, then you will find that in discussion we also bring the findings from the existing studies. So when how we will start a discussion? So discussion is basically started that what is the objective of your research article and what is the summary of findings from your research article. So for example, I have written this article provide a comprehensive assessment of the effects of planning of birth, right, on select key maternal, child health and nutritional outcomes. using the most recent National Family Health Survey data. And the findings, this is the objective basically. That why I had started this article. This is the objective. And the findings suggest that the selected maternal, child health, and nutritional outcomes, for example, BMI, anemia level of women, as well as stunting, underweight, anemia, mortality, etc., significantly differed by intersections exist by planning of birth. So I am just giving the summary that how is the findings. In particular, I am mentioning that the risk of childhood underweight is considerably higher among the children born to women who have had three or more births less than 3 years of birth spacing. This is basically a summary. Uh, with the risk for those with one birth and more than 2 years of spacing between marriage and their first birth. And when in the first paragraph, when you complete your summary, in the second paragraph, you will pick and key finding, a key finding, and you will discuss that whether present finding is consistent with the existing finding. So, what I am writing in the second paragraph, the findings from the present study support arguments put forward by the previous studies in global and South Asian context. I have given some citation over here. When I say global and South Asian context, then I have to bring some literature, some studies from the existing body of literature, and I have to cite that these are the literature which find also similar findings. Right? In particular, early marriage, early childbearing, and lack of family planning lead to shorter time between marriage and first birth, which results in poor nutritional outcomes of women. Again, two citations. So this is the finding that is coming from another study. What is the finding? Shorter time between marriage and first birth, right? Which results poor nutritional outcome of women. So this is the finding coming from another study. Therefore, I am citing here those studies. And then furthermore, women with more births and shorter birth spacing have a greater risk of being underweight than their counterparts do. Right. So this is also findings from another study. I have cited the particular article. So in this way, you have to write the discussion, and then you have conclusion. In conclusion, you basically say that what is your motivation, what is the summary of findings, and what are the policy recommendations. So I start like this study provides several cross-cutting implications for the clinical practice and health policy makings. The findings from the study show that planning of births has a biodemographic advantage in improving maternal and child health outcomes. Given the evidence that more than one-fourth of all adolescent girls experience child marriage in India, again a citation, a longer spacing between marriage and first birth could improve maternal child health outcomes, notably underweight of women, mishandling, underweight, and mortality of children. So I am just basically suggesting uh, that given the evidence, more than more than one fourth of the adolescent girls experience child marriage. So the prevalence of child marriage in India is around 26%. That is more than on fourth. And in the country where every fourth adolescent girl is getting married, we need to think this carefully that these the distance or duration between first marriage to the first birth should be expanded so that the outcome, maternal health outcome, child health outcome, maternal nutrition, and child nutritional outcome can be improved significantly. So this is the suggestion. This is going side by side. So just this is just overview of an article that how we had written 3 4 years back, and now the major problem is that many of social scientists do not know how to analyze, how to extract the secondary data like National Family Health Survey and National Sample Survey, or maybe other data source like census. So today, since this paper is based on Um, National Family Health Survey data. Today um, uh, I'll demonstrate something, the analysis part of this paper from National Family Health Survey data. Right. So I'm just talking here, and I'll just open my startup file.
Hello. Am I
Yes,
audible, sir?
yes, yes, you are audible.
Thank you. I
Sir,
want to check up.
Somo, I
Yes.
think uh, Dr. Joel Rana uh, is still not present his work. Actually, he will do something. Actually, he will present something
Okay.
to demonstrate the data. Okay. After that, we'll give the vote of thanks. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure.
So is this slide visible? The
Yes, yes,
startup?
it is visible. It is
Okay,
visible.
thank you, sir.
Yes.
So this is the data, that NFHS data that I analyzed, and this is a Stata software, and you see that how it looks like. If you click on the data view is here. You can see the data. That data is looking like this, right? Uh, and I'll come to the syntax later on. Let me first. You see the variables over here. So you have and description of data over here, right? So total number of variables you can see over here, 4,796, right? And total number of observation over here, 6,99,686. You see the summary size of the data file, that is 3,712 MB, uh, memory, then you have file name over here, etc. So here also you have some option to see your particular variable. For example, statistics. You have to come to statistics, and you see the first option is summaries, tables, and text. If you come to the summary and descriptive statistics, and you will find summary statistics over here. You can calculate summary statistics, means, proportions, ratio, totals, pairage, comparison of means, etc. For example, I am choosing a first option, that is summary statistics. On dialog box will pop up, and you can select a variable from this dialog box. So you see that again 4,000, 5,000 variable there. You have to first find the suitable variable, then you have to describe that variable in the stata. So first, let's take anemia, right? Oh, I don't know the variable name of anemia. First, I have to know the variable name. So you just write over here variable search, you will get anemia variable right from here, and you have to go there in the statistics, first option summary statistics, and you just write down and click OK. You will get a table something like this, like summarize uh, V457. This is the variable of anemia. Total number of observation is 6.84 lakh. Mean is 3.34. Standard deviation is minimum is 1 and maximum is 4. You can simply also tabulate that variable. If you tabulate the variable, you see like this: severe anemia, moderate anemia, mild anemia, not anemic. Percentage of severe anemia is 1%, percentage of moderate anemia is 12%, mild anemia is 38%, not anemic is 48%. Now I am coming to the syntax file of this analysis of the paper. So this is the syntax file. Yes. So this is the syntax file. Family planning and maternal child health outcome ICRW project. So this was outcome from the ICRW project. I was working there in Delhi at that time in 2016 17. Family planning variables. So how we calculate the variables. So this is Jane comment. Jane comment is for generating a variable. WT is a new variable name. V005 is basically national women weight. And when we calculate weight, we generally divide the weight by 1 million. 1 million means 60 after 1, right? So 1 million, 60 after 1. So we need to apply weight when we analyze our data. Right? Um, then we have record BORD01. Before doing all these things, we need to understand that what are the variables, what are the types of variables. Uh, for example, the question is why I am calculating weight. What is the need of calculating weight? How weight is generated? Why I am dividing V005 variable by 1 million? So all these questions need to be answered, and for answering all these questions, we need to time and we need time to discuss all these things. So anyway, first record. What record does? Record basically convert a variable to another variable, right? So for example, one variable has 5 categories, and you want to convert this variable into 2 categories. What you have to done? You have to record the variable, right? For example, you see the variable BORD01. I want to record this variable. So let us first see that what is BORD, right? And then we will record the variable. So let me check the BORD variable in the final in the main data. So you see BORD, so BORD1 tab BORD1. You see BORD1 means birth order number, right? Birth order number. So in the sample of 4,76,000 women, 93,000 women has are with first birth order. 93,000 women are with first birth order, and 1,57,000 women are with second birth order, and similarly 1,06,000 women are with third birth order. And you see there is only one woman with 17th birth order. That means this woman has delivered 17 children, right? So this is the meaning. And now you want to convert this, convert this number into certain category. We have 17 category. Now I want to convert this number into maybe 3 categories. So what we have to done? I am writing down the syntax over here because I have to again change the screen sharing option. So I'm writing down over here. So record is a command, it's a command that is used to record a variable. Then BORD is the variable name. Okay? And then how I want to convert this variable. So I am saying that if birth order is 1 and 2, that means less than 3. 1 and 2, that means less than 1 and 2, that means less than 3. I want to code them into 1. Then you just write birth order, BO for birth order 1, 2, and close inverted comma. This is first command. First instruction given to Shredder. Then second instruction is if birth order are from 3 to 5, then you want to convert them into 2, and you are writing birth order 3 to 5, right? And then if then rest of the birth order sample you want to convert into you want to record into 3, right? Then you just type else, or maybe uh, 6 to 17, then you record it into 3, and you are writing here birth order 6 to 17, and then gen, you are generating a new variable, and name of the new variable is birth order. So this is the format of decoding, right? And if you just click enter, what is that? There is something wrong. If you know, if syntax is not written clearly, and if there is a wrong syntax, red line will be displayed in your on your screen. So I just missed on inverted comma over here. I just inserted inverted comma, and let's see. Yeah, you can see that recording is done. So 3.82 lakh differences between BORD and barcode. So let me see the new variable. The new variable will be generated, and new variable will be stored in the last of the list of variables. So you just come to the last option, you see the new variable is generated, and bring this variable into your comment section. So you just write tab and give a space and see uh, the variable how it is distributed. So you see all this category is converted into three group: birth order 1 to 2, birth order 3 to 5, and birth order 6 to 17. And you see the percentage over here, sample size percentage and humidity percentage. So in this way, basically we refine variable. We convert variable as per our uh, choice. And now I am coming to syntax file again, because I have to show other things too. Yes. So now this categorization is done. The work of first command is done, birth order of last birth, right? And then we have other variable birth spacing. So this is for birth. The first line is for birth order for last birth. Second line is for birth spacing for last birth. So first birth spacing, not birth order, and third one is for age at first birth for last birth. So combining all these three variables, we have calculated the age at we have calculated the planning of birth. So if we run this syntax, we go and run this syntax, the three variables will be created. Right? You see variables are created, and then weight variable is created, birth order variable is created, birth spacing created, duration is created, age at first birth is created. Then planning of birth. If you run planning of birth variable will be created. You see planning of birth is created. Then maternal and child health variables. These are basically dependent variable of the paper. Similarly, you have to apply gen command, replace command, tabulate command, record command. All these command you need to know first, and then you just you have to develop the syntax. And once you run the syntax, automatically it will generate the results. Then we have independent variable. In independent variable, we have is at marriage, current age, partner's education, etc. I have already prepared, and just I have to run this syntax. So it is run. Then we have univariate univariate and bivariate analysis. For univariate analysis, I run proportion. Let's run it. Right. For bivariate analysis, I also run proportion, but with different syntax format. Wait. Oh, it is running. And then for multivariate analysis, we have mlogit command. Mlogit is for multinomial logistic regression. And for binary logistic regression, we have logit command. After the command, we you know write, we give the command RRR. RRR means relative risk ratio. And after bivariate logic, we give OR. OR means odds ratio. So if we run mlogit command, then the multinomial logistic regression result will be displayed on the stata display. It takes time although. Yes, yes, exactly. And that's it. There are some other experiment I had done long back, so now it is not required. Now I am coming to uh, the stata display, that how result is coming, right? Uh, you see, we had run a record command that record BMI minimum to 18.50 and record this into 1 and label this one as a underweight 18.5 on to 24.99, record it into 0 and label this 0 into label this 0 as normal, then 25 to max, record into 2 and label this 2 into obvious, right? And then generate a new variable BMIF. So BMIF means BMI final. This is not required. This is basically extra information. If you want to write extra information, you just click on oblique sign on your keyboard, double, and you can write anything you want. So that will not be included in your command instruction. And when you tabulate this BMI with weight, uh, then you will find that 56% are normal, 22.99% are underweight, 20.61% are obese. Right. So similarly, this is for other variables, maternal anemia. Similarly, this is for maternal anemia. Then you have age at marriage, uh, then caste. No, this child age, the child age is categorized into this way. Then you have residence, place of residence, you have urban and rural, right? And then you have level of education like illiterate, primary, secondary, higher, etc. And then partner education, that means husband's education, illiterate, primary, secondary, higher, etc. Then you have religion, Hindu, Muslim, other. Then you have scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, others, all recording is done. And then I am coming to result from now proportion of BMIF, planning of birth, age at marriage, child age, residence, religion, caste, education, partner education, occupation, wealth, mass media exposure, and states. So you see, all the proportion are here. Proportion. What is difference between percentage and proportion? So percentage is basically uh, converted from proportion multiplying 100. If we multiply uh, proportion with 100, then you will get a percentage. So proportion is basically varied from 0 to 1, and percentage is basically varied from 0 to 100. So that is the difference. So this gives proportion, and if you multiply this number with 100, you will get a proportion. You will get a percentage, and you will see the proportion are there. You need to multiply this number with 100 to get a percentage. So all the independent and dependent variable are listed in the first column. The proportion is listed on the second column, then standard error, and then confidence interval. 95% confidence interval are given in the uh, last two columns. So the information whichever you need, you just pick the required information from this table, and you just copy and paste to the Excel. So how do you copy here? You will just select like this, and you click on the selected portion and just copy table, and go to the Excel and just paste. Right, this portion will be pasted in the Excel. So from Excel you can develop the table as per your wish, right? So this is about proportion. Then I'm coming to this is another proportion. This is another proportion. I'm coming to multinomial logic. This is the result from multinomial. Yes. So this is the result from multinomial regression. Few minutes back, I had run this into the comment section. So mlogit BMIF, this is BMI variable, this is the outcome variable. After the comment, we put outcome variable and then independent variable, right? So independent variable before the independent variable, you see the I dot is given. I dot means the first group is reference category. The first category is reference category. The result will be given based on the first category, considering the first category as a reference category, right? Then at the end of the syntax command, we give weight. That I'm suggesting that give a p weight, and please report RRR, relative risk ratio. Otherwise, it would have been given uh, coefficient only. So you see the model statistics. The total number of observation is 4.3 lakh. Wall chi statistics is 30,319. Probability chi-square is significant at 0.000. That means less than 0.001. Pseudo R-square, we generally do not believe on pseudo R-square. Rather, we believe log pseudo likelihood number. So this is log pseudo likelihood number is basically the lower the number, higher the model fit statistics. And we basically see that whether chi-square is significant or not. If this chi-square is significant, then we can rely that this model is statistically significant, and we can rely on this statistics. If it is not significant, we cannot say that the result in this table are reliable. So this is model fit statistics. When you will publish a data, publish your paper in reputed journal like this, then you have to report all these statistics. If not all, then some important statistics input along with your table. And you had already seen the result in the paper earlier. I displayed on the screen. Uh, so that this is the result basically. This is the result. I took this result from uh, this screen to the Excel file, then just converted the table in the Excel and put into the Word file. So, and then after running the multinomial logistic regression, I just give a comment that is predict comment P1 P2 P3. P1 P2 P3, that means uh, P1 is for normal, P2 is for underweight, and P3 is for overweight. So in this way, just I converted, I just stored stored the result into memory of the stata. And then I am saying that calculate mean. mean that means average of P1, P2 and P3, giving the weight of WT over planning of bar. So over planning of bar, that means mean will be calculated, mean of P1, P2, P3 will be calculated over the category of planning of bar variable. And you see the mean is calculated over planning of bar category, right? You see the mean. And against each mean, standard deviation is given, right? And then along with the standard error, we can see that confidence interval is also given. The mean is 0.585. The lower limit of confidence level is 0.5851. Right? So here it is 58, here it is 51. And here you see that upper limit is 5.5856, 58464, 5864. So this mean lies between these two numbers, right? So in this way you can calculate the uh, confidence interval along with mean. And then when you can convert this mean into percentage, you just need to multiply this number with 100. That's it. So this is a quick description uh, of the procedure how one can develop a research article for international journals. But I'm pretty sure that this class is not sufficient, uh, or this discussion is not sufficient for the audience, because there are vagueness in the description, because we do not understand many terminologies. Those terminologies need to be clarified first to understand this lecture carefully, right? So now I'm closing this. I stop here, and I now request Dr. Sohel, if there is any question from the audience or from any one of them who are interested to ask the question, I'll be happy to answer the question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to take a moment to express my appreciation for the insightful and informative speech by Dr. Mohammad Joel Rana, sir, on how to produce the best research article. His presentation was nothing short of brilliant and offered a wealth of invaluable insights into the process of writing a research article. From start to finish, his speech was engaging and easy to follow, and thanks to his clear and concise delivery. He skillfully covered all the essential aspects of producing a high quality research article, from selecting a suitable topic to conducting effective research and analysis, and then crafting the final draft. I was particularly impressed with the practical tips he shared on how to structure the article, how to communicate research findings effectively, and how to ensure that the article stands out in a crowded field of research. And I can see praises and accolades have flooded in appreciation for his speech. And due to the paucity of time, we can only take up, I think, one or two questions very briefly. And the first question is by Namita Kumari. The question is, what is a thematic writing?
Okay. So, thematic writing, rather, it is thematic review. There are, as I said, there are two type of review. One is narrative review, another is systematic review. So, narrative review is sometimes called thematic review because we summarize the existing research article into certain themes, right? For example, I have 100 articles, and I want to group these 100 articles into 5 themes, right? So this is basically narrative review. We narrate the stories, that is stories about the findings that is coming from the existing literature. So that is basically thematic review or narrative review, right? I
Okay,
think
thank you, sir.
makes sense. Yeah.
And the next question is, sir, is there any proper structure or thematic blueprint for writing review study?
Yes, there are structure to write a review article. First, you have to scientifically search. Uh, you know, if you search this one, the YouTube video, you will get a number of YouTube tutorial how to develop a review article, right? And I'm just telling you quickly that first you have to search the article scientifically. That how you are searching the article, and how what are the exclusion and inclusion criteria of your review, and what are the based on that you basically categorize the research article. You basically include those research article for review, and then you review the title, and then you review the abstract, and you define the number of articles that you are going to include for your main review. And after review is done, you basically go for meta-analysis. You categorize those articles into positive relationship, negative relation, in the group of negative relationship, and then in the group of no relationship, and then you conclude your findings. So there are certain ways, certain scientific ways to complete the review, systematic review process. So I hope I answered.
Thank you once
Yeah.
again, sir, for your invaluable contribution to our knowledge and understanding of how to produce the best research article. Now, as all good things must end, so to this conference. We have come to the end of this first part, and immediately we will move towards the technical sessions. And I believe all the paper presenters have received the program schedule in which the names of the presenters, corresponding chairpersons, along with the Google Meet link for joining. So I request all of you to join in the respective links after this session. And now let me very briefly introduce all the chairpersons. First is Dr. Anantula Raghu, PhD from Kakatiya University, Warangal, and who is presently acting as Assistant Professor at Department of Education, University of Delhi. He also possesses postdoctoral research experience during the academic years from 2016 to 18. An author of more than 30 research papers and books, Dr. Raghu has also completed many research projects. Next is Dr. Josephine Antony, who is an assistant professor at TISS and chairperson of the Center for Equity and Justice for Children and Families. Her field of practice and research include vulnerable and marginalized children, researching with children and technology and society, with a focus on the adolescents. She has led several research projects and published research papers in prominent international journals and chapters in books. Next is Dr. Varma Priyadarshini, who is working as an assistant professor in the Department of History at the University of North Bengal since 2018. She received her PhD awarded from Center for South Asian Studies, JNU, and MPhil from Center of South Asian Studies, JNU. Dr. Baishali Majumdar is an assistant professor of philosophy and the coordinator of the certificate course in Rabindra Sangeet and Najrul Giti at Kuch Bihar Panchanan Barma University. She was the first class first in philosophy honors and first class second in PG from the University of North Bengal. She has published many papers in national and international journals, attended national as well as international seminars, delivered lectures in different platforms. Next is Dr. Shubal Kanti Choudhury, who is an assistant professor of Bengali at Raiganj University. His areas of interest are literature, language, novels, short story, theoretical perspectives on literatures, folklores, etc. He has authored many research articles in many journals and presented papers in national and international seminars conferences. Next is Dr. Anup De, who received his PhD in physical education from Vishwabharati University, Shantiniketan. He is the university first rank holder, former junior and senior research fellow. He has published more than 20 research articles in journals of repute. He is the member and reviewer of different reputed journals and presented many papers in seminars and conferences. Dr. Ashish Dotto has completed his bachelor and master's degree in library and information science from the Department of Library and Information Science of University of Calcutta. He has also worked as a junior research fellow and subsequently senior research fellow at the same department. Presently, he is working as a college librarian in Purvostoli College, Purbo Bardhaman, West Bengal. Dr. Mohammad Ismail is an assistant professor in geography of Diwan Abul Goni College, Dakshin Dinajpur, West Bengal. And his field of specialization is agricultural geography, social geography, population geography, and oceanography. He also taught contemporary issues, statistics, environmental geography, biogeography, and social issues. He did his post-graduation and MPhil from Aligarh Muslim University and also received PhD from the same from Aliyah University. He has also published more than 60 post-editorial articles in various newspapers, research papers in various national and international journals. And myself will also chair a session. So now, dear esteemed guests, speakers, organizers, and attendees, on behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of this conference. This event would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of all involved, and we are truly grateful for your support and dedication. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Sohel Rana Sarkar, the convener of this conference, for his vision, dedication, leadership, and tireless efforts which have been instrumental in ensuring that this event was a grand success. I would also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Mozammil Haq of Dakshin Dinajpur D8 College for his outstanding administrative skills, efficiency, attention to detail, and professionalism. I would also thank Mr. Akbar Rahman Sarkar, the HOD of Dakshin Dinajpur D8 College, for his unwavering support and guidance throughout the seminar. His encouragement and support were invaluable to the organizing committee, and his presence during the event was a source of inspiration to all. Now, I, on behalf of the organizing committee and on my own behalf, would like to express my appreciation to our esteemed speakers who generously shared their knowledge, expertise, and insights with us. We are honored to have such an exceptional group of professionals who enlightened us with their ideas and experiences. I personally thank Dr. G. Kaliyarasan sir, Senior Professor and Head, Department of Education, Algappa University, Tamil Nadu, for providing the keynote address on multidisciplinary research. Dr. Muhammad Ahsan Habib sir, Professor, Institute of Education and Research, University of Dhaka, Bangladesh, for his invaluable speech on research trend of education in Bangladesh. And Dr. Muhammad Jewel Rana sir, Assistant Professor, GB Pant Social Science Institute, Allahabad, for his brilliant talk on how to produce best research article. Special is due to all the members of the organizing committee, namely Dr. Sujit Kumar Soren, Dr. R. Uday Mohan Babu, Mr. Tonumoy Panda, Mr. Santosh Suba, and Mr. Naveen Manager, Dr. T. Sudararasan, Professor Swati Singh Bishen, Mr. Pranjal Das, and Mr. N. Sundar, who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that everything ran smoothly. Their hard work and dedication were critical to the success of the event. Finally, we'd like to thank all the paper presenters, attendees, academicians, researchers, and dear students for joining us in this conference. We hope that these sessions were informative, insightful, and engaging, and that you were able to take away new ideas and knowledge that will help you in your professional and personal endeavors. Once again, thank you to everyone who made this conference possible. I'd formally conclude this session and request all the presenters to join the respective Google Meet links. Thank you once again.